Hammer.
Camera set.
And background. Action, Blake. June.
I promise you, you have absolutely nothing to be scared of, okay? I've done this surgery so many times, all right? All you gotta do is close your eyes and you're gonna be great, all right? Bye, Emily. I'll see you later.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
Wait, what are you...
No, I just,
Is everything okay?
Yeah, you forgot this.
Wait, what? No, babe, this isn't mine.
I know, I happen to love you too.
Hey besties, what was that? That was the kiss heard round the world. The kiss between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively that was not on the script. And who is the individual that actually kissed Justin? Did Justin initiate a kiss of Blake or did Blake initiate a kiss of Justin? Oh, it was Blake that actually kissed Justin. Huh. Do you remember that in her lawsuit against Justin, she claimed that during a dancing scene, he kissed her on the forehead and he like caressed her shoulder or her neck and he commented about how she smelled so good? And do you remember that in Justin's original complaint that was dismissed by Judge Lyman, he said that it was Blake that was the one that engaged with improvisation when it came to intimacy, and that he, as a trained actor, was able to just roll with it because he understood that sometimes in scenes things get added, and he didn't take offense to it. He just, because he's a professional actor, he understood it would happen or it could happen, and he went with it. Because there is an element of improv often when it comes to acting, but generally speaking, kisses are almost always written into a script. And Justin, in his lawsuit, or in his response to her lawsuit with the summary judgment, his lawyers filed a declaration and said that kiss was not in the script. If you watch the movie, that scene is not in the film. They ended up cutting it, and they filmed that same scene in their apartment, Lily and Ryle's apartment. And she says the same thing in a different in the same manner. She doesn't kiss him, and again, it's a different place. So they ended up cutting this hospital scene, and it was filmed in the apartment. But it wasn't Justin that initiated that intimacy. It was Blake who went off script. This is just one example of Justin and his attorneys showing the court that the behavior that Blake was complaining of Justin doing was behavior that she was engaging in herself. Another issue that came up were comments about calling Blake sexy. Okay, so one of the clips that they released it's that scene when they're in the bar and they're all in their onesies. And Blake said that she was so offended because he commented on her being sexy. Well, I want to show you the clip. And then I also want to show you another clip of Blake on the floor telling a bunch of guys how sexy her shoes are.
Thank you so much.
Ready, everybody? We really should go, please. So, again, who's going to watch everything here? A wall comes in, right? So please make sure that nobody's standing right here, please. Okay. All right.
Somebody lock it up.
Toothpick, please. Viv, do you have a toothpick?
Yeah, right here.
Thank you. Whatever you do, you're always pantomime talking to one another. You're always saying something, right? About the game.
Yeah, I'm going over there. Like, pass on.
All right, we should go.
Oh, really?
Looks it good for you?
Oh, can you put you in the freaking in the boys' room? Yeah. Oh shit.
Everyone's always like not a good team.
That scene, you guys, that scene's going to go to a jury if it goes to a trial. That is the scene where Blake and Miss Jenny claim comments were made about an outfit being sexy. And it's not even what he said. I know it's hard to hear. You might have to rewind and try to sort through it. But if you've watched this movie, you know that this scene is they're out at a bar. They're wearing their onesies because apparently if you wear your onesies to bars in Boston, you can get free drinks or cheaper drinks or something like that. And you see that they're all wearing onesies, but it's a small dive bar and it's very hot. And you see that Jenny's clothing is not as covered up. And you see that Justin is worried because it's hot in there and warm. And he's trying to make sure that she matches what everyone else is doing. And he's like, but we're all wearing our onesies, right? And then he's like, I think it'll be hot. Then he notices that Blake has something in her teeth. And when he notices that there's something in Blake's teeth, he asks someone to get her a toothpick. Now, this is not offensive by any means. Like literally, if you are a director of a film and you know your lead actress has like, I don't know, green beans in her teeth in 4K, you're going to see that on camera. You don't want your lead actress to look like a fool by having food in their teeth. Blake gets a toothpick and she's got to work it out. She gets the food out of her teeth and then she gives him a death stare. I truthfully don't think she was remotely offended by what he said about the outfit. I think she was pissed that he noticed that she had something in her teeth, and I think she felt embarrassed. And I think she overinflated and decided that, no, I'm not going to make it about the teeth because that's stupid. I'm going to claim that he called me sexy. And by the way, as a director filming a scene and trying to, put together the creative vision of this film, it's his right to look at the wardrobe of the actors and actresses on here. But also, it should show you the power dynamic, because even as he's questioning what her look is for this part of the film, she doesn't change what she's wearing. She doesn't, unzip the onesie. She doesn't do anything. So who really has control? He can share his opinion, right? But nothing changed. Absolutely nothing changed. Blake was pissed about being embarrassed that she had something in her teeth, Justin pointing it out, and Jenny, for her part, doesn't even look mad. This is why I think Blake got in people's heads. Because if a jury sees that is not sexual harassment. That's literally a guy doing his job. I would be mortified if I had something in my teeth, but I would be more mortified if I had something in my teeth and it was on camera. Here, he's protecting Blake from herself. This is ridiculous. Now, the next clip is of Blake on the floor showing people her boots, and she calls them sexy.
Can I just sit? Can I just do it with the chair right there? Just get the closest distance. I know it seems so ridiculous. I don't think it's even average.
It's
Another problem. The reason they're so sexy is because it's just like naked foot, like Cinderella, but there's no bottom. So if your bone is hitting wood, it is. It's actually really cool. And I did it before. Can I just sit? Can I just do it with the chair right there? Just get the closest distance. I know it seems so ridiculous. I don't think it's even average. Another problem. The reason they're so sexy is because it's just like naked foot, like Cinderella, but there's no bottom. So if your bone is hitting wood, It is. It's actually really brutal. And I did it before.
She's sitting on a floor. There's a bunch of guys around her. She's got her boots that are like $2,000 on. These are the boots that she wore when they did the birthday party for Lily. These are the boots that are like the infamous boots when they're undressing and they're in Ryle's bedroom and it's like the first time they're about to do something physically. Those boots. Apparently, she wears them in every scene. And she's like, you know what makes them so sexy is because you can see the silhouette of my foot. Essentially, what she's saying is that there's no support. So the you can see her foot support. You can see the like arch of her foot, but it offers no support because there's like basically nothing underneath her. So it's like you have your feet on the toes on the ground, and then your foot's on the heel, and then the arch of your foot apparently makes you feel it's like very uncomfortable. And she's saying that these are hurting her feet, but it's making her feet look very sexy. Telling random guys on the set of the crew, do you know why my foot is so sexy? This is what makes this boot so sexy. Do you know how frequently there are headlines about Blake Lively's clothing, about how sexy the clothing is? Do you know how frequently sexy is used to describe a woman's outfit walking down the street or even in headlines? Can you imagine if every time an outfit is called sexy, it was sexual harassment? So if Justin calls her hot or says the outfit is going to make her hot, that is sexual harassment, but it's not sexual harassment for Blake to be sitting down with a bunch of guys talking about her sexy boots. I mean, this is what they're going to have to show the jury. And part of the sexual harassment claims are if her behavior is engaging in it, if she herself is engaging in it, how can she then claim it's sexual harassment when it's repeated to her? If she is fostering dialogue with people and she's showing that it's acceptable to use those words, why then is it unacceptable for other people to use those words with her? It's truly, I've never seen anyone this entitled. And then during his deposition, Michael Gottlieb, like a deranged lunatic, was drilling and grilling Justin Baldoni about hugging. You know, hugging is apparently the most offensive sexually charged thing you can do with everyone. And he is like, how many times would you estimate that you hugged Miss Lively on set? So not outside of the set environment, but at work on set. Are these hugs? I'm so sorry, says Justin. Are these hugs that I initiated or those hugs that I was the recipient of? You can characterize it however you like. Justin says, I just want it to be as accurate in my testimony as possible. And Gottlieb says, okay. And then Justin says, as it relates to hugging, that was my question. That was my question. Which one? And he said, you can include hugs that you believe you initiated and hugs you believe Miss Lively initiated. Objection, is his attorney. Like lump them all together? Mr. Gottlieb, sure, your best estimate. Who wants to bet that these questions were asked for Ryan Reynolds? Because he wants to know how many times his wife bumped uglies with Justin with a hug. Maybe a greeting and an exit. So at the most, again, I don't know. That's my answer to you, Mr. Gottlieb. I don't know. Mr. Gottlieb says, fair enough. And when you don't know, that's what I always want your answer to be. And he said, I don't know. Do you know who Vivian Baker is? And then Justin says, Vivian Baker is Miss Lively's makeup artist, I believe. And Gottlieb says, do you know that she testified under oath in this case? And he said, I assume her testimony would be under oath. And Gottlieb says, do you know that she testified under oath that there was a culture of hugging on the set of It Ends With Us? And he said, I am now. And he said, are you aware that she said that it made a number of people uncomfortable? And Justin said, I find that odd. And Gottlieb said, you find that odd? Why? He says, because Miss Baker was often the one that would run up and give me a hug. And Gottlieb said, and because of that, you find it odd that she testified that a number of people felt uncomfortable with the culture of hugging on the set. And he says, correct, Justin. And he says, do you remember earlier when you testified about the hot tub? A culture of hugging. Okay, so Blake's sexual harassment now is hugging. So evidence he provides to the court to prove it was not gender specific shows Justin hugging a couple other cast members. Check it out.
No, I got you. I got you.
Hopefully,
You asked the right one.
whatever the hell.
For everything,
Oh, there you are.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Okay.
You're awesome. Oh, bro, you were amazing. Yeah, really. This is like, so you have some depth and soul. I saw it in the audition, but you're gonna kill the rest of it. I'm excited. And then who knows? There might be some stuff.
Oh, I think I did. It was in the front. It was a video. Because some of these were shots that I just kind of took.
So this was them wrapping the filming of young Lily and young Atlas. And so they're leaving the set. He's thanking them, whatever. But apparently the culture of hugging that is so offensive also includes hugging men. And if you noticed, young Atlas approached him and gave him a hug. So I guess it's, offensive these days to hug. I had no idea. I mean, not everyone's a hugger, and you can certainly respect people's boundaries. But in situations like this on creative sets, it can become like family. And oftentimes people hug. And sometimes they hug when they leave, and sometimes they kiss each other on the cheek when they leave. I don't know. I know that sometimes with Hollywood sets, they've become more like since Me Too, like don't touch anyone, don't do anything type of thing. But to me, what this proves is that he was indiscriminate in who he hugged. He had no problem hugging a man. He had no problem hugging a woman. It wasn't like he just picked Blake out of a line and was like, I want to only hug you. And in order for Blake to prevail, she has to show that the hugging is specific only to women. Well, there's him hugging two men. This is a culture of hugging, apparently. And to see how Gottlieb is gaslighting him and acting like it's the most offensive and egregious thing in the world for someone to hug someone else on a set is insane to me. These lawyers are as ridiculous as Blake. This is the same lawyer that was Drake's lawyer that lost because Drake tried to sue UMG about one of Kendrick Lamar's rap songs, and said it was defamation. Like, Michael Gottlieb, you have lost the plot. There is no culture of hugging, and it's not gender discrimination because he hugged everyone, apparently. So this was evidence that the judge is going to see, and if it goes to trial, this is evidence that the jury would have to see. So please tell me what your thoughts are. Does this prove sexual harassment, or does it further bolden you to believe that Blake is insane? And I mean that in the kindest way, like Delulu, like Ku Klux Khaleesi Delulu. Is that what Perez says? What are your thoughts? Do you think the judge will see this and be like, what are you doing, Blake? Or do you think he's like, yes, this is definitely sexual harassment, Blake. Absolutely. Absolutely. The teeth issue was totally sexual harassment. I seriously think that Ryan is doing this. I think Ryan is doing this to find out what their relationship was like on the set, truthfully. All right, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties.